the story so far. In the beginning, the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move. Many races believe that it was created by some sort of god, though the Jatravartid people of Viltvodel 6 firmly believe that the entire universe was, in fact, sneezed out of the nose of a being called the Great Green Arkelseizure. The Jatravartids, who live in perpetual fear of the time they call the coming of the Great White Handkerchief, are small blue creatures with more than 50 arms each who are therefore unique in being the only race in history to have invented the aerosol deodorant before the wheel. However, the Great Green Arkelseizure theory was not widely accepted outside Viltvodel 6, and so one day a race of hyper-intelligent, pan-dimensional beings built themselves a gigantic supercomputer called Deep Thought to calculate once and for all the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. For 7.5 million years, Deep Thought computed and calculated and eventually announced that the answer was in fact 42. And so another even bigger computer had to be built to find out what the actual question was. And this computer, which was called the Earth, was so amazingly large that it was frequently mistaken for a planet, particularly by the strange ape-like beings who roamed its surface, totally unaware that they were simply part of a gigantic computer program. And this is very odd, because without that fairly simple and obvious piece of knowledge, nothing that ever happened on Earth could possibly have made the slightest bit of sense. However, at the critical moment of readout, the Earth was unexpectedly demolished to make way for a hyperspace bypass, and the only native Earth people to have survived the demolition are now being shot at behind a computer bank on the lost planet of Magrathea, along with their strange companions from Betelgeuse, who are currently singing an ancient Betelgeuse death anthem on the very sensible grounds that they are about to die. This is what the computer bank is about to do. And the time at which it is going to do it is 5 seconds from now.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, madam. Do you have a reservation?
Reservation?
Yes, sir.
So you need a reservation for the afterlife?
The afterlife, sir?
Is this the afterlife?
Well, I assume so. I mean, there's no way we could have survived that blast, is there?
Oh, no.
I certainly didn't survive. I was a total goner. Wham, bang, and that was it.
We didn't stand a chance. We must have been blown to bits. Arms, legs, everywhere.
Yeah, I was dead too.
If you would care to order drinks...
Instantaneously zonked into our component molecules. Hey, did you get that amazing thing of your whole life flashing before you?
Yeah, you got that too, did you? Your whole life.
Yeah, at least I assume it was mine. I spent a lot of time out of my skull, you know?
So what?
Here we are, lying dead.
Standing dead?
Standing dead in this, desolate...
Restaurant.
Standing dead in this, desolate...
5-star.
Restaurant,
Odd, isn't it?
yeah.
Nice chandeliers, though.
It's not so much an afterlife, more a sort of après-vie.
Hey, hang about, you dead guys. I think we're missing some ultra-important thing here. Somebody said something and we missed it. Trillian?
I just said we were standing up.
No, Earthman?
I said it was a sort of après-vie.
Yeah, and don't you wish you hadn't, Ford?
I said it was odd.
Yeah, shrewd but dull. That leaves a little weird fella.
Me, sir?
Yeah, speak to me.
I just said if you would care to order drinks...
Drinks! That was it! See what you miss if you don't stay alert?
If the lady and gentleman would care to take drinks before
Yeah,
dinner...
great!
And the universe will explode later for your pleasure.
Hey, what?
What sort of drinks do you serve here?
I think sir has perhaps misunderstood me.
I hope not.
It is not unusual for our customers to be a little disorientated by the time journey.
Time
such as I
journey?
You mean this isn't the afterlife?
Afterlife, sir, Oh, no, sir.
And we're not dead?
Sir is most evidently alive. Otherwise, I would not attempt to serve, sir.
Then where the photon are we?
Hey, I've sussed it. This must be Milliways.
Milliways!
Yes, this is Milliways.
What's Milliways?
The restaurant at the end of the universe.
End of what?
The universe.
When did that end?
In just a few minutes, sir. Now, if you would care to order drinks, I'll show you to your table in the main part of the restaurant.
Oh, fab.
The restaurant at the end of the universe is one of the most extraordinary ventures in the entire history of catering. A vast time bubble has been projected into the future to the precise moment of the end of the universe. This is, of course, impossible. In it, guests take their places at table and eat sumptuous meals whilst watching the whole of creation explode about them. This is, of course, impossible. You can arrive for any sitting you like without prior reservation because you can book retrospectively, as it were, when you return to your own time. This is, of course, impossible. At the restaurant, you can meet and dine with a fascinating cross-section of the entire population of space and time. This is, of course, impossible. You can visit it as many times as you like and be sure of never meeting yourself because of the embarrassment that usually causes. This is, of course, impossible. All you have to do is deposit 1 penny in a savings account in your own era, and when you arrive at the end of time, the operation of compound interest means that the fabulous cost of your meal has been paid for. This is, of course, impossible. Which is why the advertising executives of the star system of Pastablon came up with this slogan. If you've done 6 impossible things this morning, why not round it off with breakfast at Milliways, the restaurant at the end of the universe?
This way, sir, if you please.
Wowee, Zappo. Incredible. People. Things.
The things are also people.
People. The other people.
Lights.
The tables.
Food.
The band.
The clothes.
Yeah, the end of the universe is very popular. People like to dress up for it.
Gives it a sense of occasion.
If you could follow me, sir.
Hey, everybody's here, you know.
Everybody who was anybody.
Was?
Like everything's been done, you know? Hi, guys. How did you do?
Who are they all?
Hey, there's an old mate of mine, Zaphod, you see? It's Hot Black Desiato. See, the big guy with the platinum suit
Oh,
on.
yeah. Did he ever make it mega big? Wow. Bigger than the biggest thing ever. Other than me.
Who is he? We don't know anybody.
Hot Black Desiato? You don't know?
No.
You never heard of Disaster Area?
No.
The biggest, loudest
Richest
rock band in the history of...
history itself?
No.
Bizarre, here we are at the end of the universe and you haven't even lived yet. Did you miss out? Hey, waiter, bring me volume 3 of the wine list.
Certainly, sir.
Hey, Hot Black, how you doing? Great to see you, big boy. How's the noise? You're looking great. Really very, very fat and unwell. Amazing, yeah. Remember the old days? We used to hang out, right? The Bistro Illegal, remember? The Evil Drone Boozerama? Slim's Throat Emporium. Great days, yeah. And when we were hungry, we'd pose as public health inspectors and go around confiscating meals and drinks. Great. And you were up all night trying to write songs and we all hated them. And you said you didn't care. And we said we did because we hated them so much. Oh. And you said you didn't want to be a star because you despised the star system. And we said we didn't think you had the option. And what do now? You buy star systems. Here is a guy who buys star systems. Oh. What's that number you do? That really huge one. How does it go? Bwam, bwam. Something. And in the stage act, it ends with this ship crashing right into the sun. And you actually do it. Ship, sun, boom. Wonderful. I mean, forget lasers. You guys are into solar flares and real sunburn. Oh, and terrible songs. Hey, want a drink? Hot Black?
Kid,
Yeah?
go away.
What?
Beat it.
And who are you?
I'm the guy who's telling you to beat it before you get it beaten for you.
Listen, Ugly, I'm one of Hot Black's oldest mates, and I
And
don't
I'm Mr. Desiato's bodyguard, and I am responsible for his body, and I'm not responsible for yours, so take it away before it gets damaged.
Now, wait a minute.
No minutes, no waiting. Mr. Desiato speaks to no one.
Well, perhaps he can speak for himself.
He speaks to no one.
Why? What's the matter with him?
The Hitch-hikers' Guide to the Galaxy notes that Disaster Area, a plutonium rock band from the Golgafrinchan mine zones, is generally held to be not only the loudest rock band in the galaxy, but in fact the loudest noise of any kind at all. Regular concertgoers judge that the best sound balance is usually to be heard from within large concrete bunkers positioned some 37 miles from the stage, whilst the musicians themselves play their instruments by remote control from a heavily insulated spaceship which stays in orbit round the planet, or more frequently, round a completely different planet. Their songs are on the whole very simple and mostly follow the familiar theme of boy being meets girl being beneath a silvery moon, which then suddenly explodes for no adequately explored reason. Many worlds have now banned their act altogether, sometimes for artistic reasons, but most commonly because the band's public address system contravenes many local strategic arms limitations treaties. This has not, however, stopped their earnings pushing back the boundaries of pure hypermathematics, and their chief research accountant has recently been appointed Professor of Neo-Mathematics at Megalon for both his general and special theories of disaster area tax returns, in which he proves that the whole fabric of the space-time continuum is not merely curved, it is in fact totally bent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the universe as we know it has now been in existence for over 170,000 million billion years, and will be ending in a little over 10 minutes' time. So welcome one and all to Millaway's, the restaurant at the end of the universe. I am your host for tonight, Max Portal-Clean, and I come to you straight from the other end of time, where I've been hosting a show at the Big Bang Burger Chef, where we had a very exciting evening, you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, and I will be with you right through this tremendous historic occasion, the end of history itself. And now, let me introduce you to the band who are playing here for your pleasure tonight. Mr. Reg Nullify and his Cataclysmic Combo. Big hand, ladies and gentlemen, Reg and his Cataclysmic Combo.
Your arms, your legs, your heads, your everything to me. I mean through all eternity. Your glistening scales of green, I don't know where they've been. You might have laid a tree, but I don't care.
Oh, hi there, Ford. You talked to the big noise boy?
Hot Black, yeah. I sort of spoke to him, yeah.
What'd he say?
Not a lot. He's
Yeah.
he's spending a year dead for tax reasons.
Oh, yeah. Neat.
Boys, that's nice. So now, ladies and gentlemen, take your places at the table. The candles are lit, the band is playing, as the force-shielded dome above us fades into transparency, revealing a dark and sullen sky hung heavy with the ancient light of livid swollen stars. I can see that we are in for a fabulous evening's apocalypse. I know you're going to enjoy this, folks.
But look, Ford, surely if the universe is about to end here and now, don't we go with it?
No, look, as soon as you come into this dive, I think you get held in this sort of amazing force-shielded temporal warp thing. Look, I'll show you. Now, imagine this napkin as the temporal universe, right? And this spoon as a transductional mode in the matter curve.
That's the spoon I was eating with.
All right, imagine this spoon is the transductional mode in the matter curve. No, better still, this fork.
Hey, could you let go of my fork, please?
Look, why don't we say this wine glass is the temporal universe? So if I... Okay, forget that. I mean, do you know how the universe began for a kick-off?
Probably not.
All right, imagine this. You get a large round bath made of ebony.
Where from? Harrods was destroyed by the Vogons.
No, it doesn't matter.
So you keep saying?
No, listen, just imagine you've got this ebony bath, okay, and it's conical.
Conical? What kind of bath is
It's
likely to be conical?
So what you do, you fill it with fine white sand, right? Fine white powder, anything.
Why?
And when it's full, you pull the plug out and it all just twirls down out of the plug hole. But the thing is, the clever bit is that you film it happening. You get a movie camera from somewhere and actually film it. But then you thread the film in the projector backwards.
Backwards?
Yeah, neat, you see. So what happens is you sit and watch it, and then everything appears to spiral upwards out of the plug hole and fill the bath. See?
And that's how the universe began?
No, but it's a marvellous way to relax.
Funny man.
Well, broke the ice, didn't it?
And as the photon storms gather in swirling clouds around us, preparing to tear apart the last of the red-hot suns, I hope you'll all settle back and enjoy with me what I'm sure we will all find an immensely exciting and terminal experience. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing penultimate about this one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the proverbial it. After this, there is void, emptiness, oblivion, absolute nothing. Except, of course, for the sweet trolley and a fine selection of Aldebaran liqueurs. And for once, you don't need to worry about having a hangover in the morning, because there won't be any more mornings. And now, at the risk of putting a damper on the wonderful sense of doom and futility here, I'd like to welcome a few parties. Yes, thank you, my dear. Now, do we have a party from the Zancel Quazure Flammarion Bridge Club from beyond the Void of Quan? Are they here? Yes, there they are. Well, last bid now, lads, and no cheating. This is a very solemn moment. And a party of minor deities from the halls of Asgard. Yes, they are. Careful with that hammer, sir. And a party of young conservatives from Sirius B. We lay it all at your door, of course. And lastly, a party of devout believers from the Church of the Second Coming of the great prophet Zarquan. Sitting there very quietly and patiently waiting. Well, fellas, let's hope he's hurrying, because he's only got 8 minutes left. But seriously, though, no offense, man. I know we shouldn't make fun of deeply held beliefs, so I think a big hand, please, for the great prophet Zarquan. Forever, he's got to. It is marvelous, though, to see so many of you here tonight. Isn't it just, though? Because I know that many of you come time and time again, and I personally think this is really wonderful, to come and watch this final end of everything and then return home to your own eras and raise families, strive for new and better societies, fight terrible wars for what you believe to be right. It really gives one hope for the future of all life kind. Except, of course, that we know it hasn't got one.
Excuse me, sir.
Who, me?
Mr. Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Yeah.
There is a phone call for you.
Hey, what?
Here?
Hey, but who knows where I am?
Zaphod, perhaps it's the Galactic Police caught up with us. Could they have traced us here?
You mean they want to arrest me over the phone? Could be. I'm a pretty dangerous dude when I'm cornered.
Oh, yeah, you go to pieces so fast that people get hit by the shrapnel.
Hey, what is this? Judgment Day?
Do we get to see that as well? Fantastic.
I'm in no hurry. So who's the cat on the phone? Pass the wine, Ford.
I am not personally acquainted with the metal gentleman in question, sir,
Metal?
but I'm informed that he has been awaiting your return for a considerable number of millennia. It seems you left here, sir, somewhat precipitately.
Hey, left here? We've only just arrived.
Indeed, sir. But before you arrived here, sir, you left here.
Yeah, you're saying that before we arrived here, we left here.
That is what I said, sir.
Put your analyst on danger money, baby, now.
No, wait a minute. Where exactly is here?
The planet Magrathea, sir.
But we just left there. This is the restaurant at the end of the universe, I thought.
Yeah,
Precisely, sir. The one was constructed on the ruins of the other.
Ah, you mean we've travelled in time, but not in space?
Listen, you semi-evolved simian, go climb a tree, won't you?
Oh, go bang your heads together, Four Eyes.
No, your monkey has got it right, sir.
Who are you calling a monkey?
You jumped forwards in time many millions of years while retaining the same position in space. Your friend has been waiting for you in the meantime.
Well, what's he been doing?
Rusting a little?
Marvin! It must be Marvin.
The paranoid android.
Space cookies! Hand me the rap rod plate, Captain.
I beg your pardon, sir.
The phone, waiter. Gee, you guys are so unhip, it's a wonder your bums don't fall off.
What, sir? The phone, sir.
Marvin, hi, how you doing, kid?
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Hey, yeah, we're having a great time. Food, wine, a little abuse, and the universe going foom. Where can we find you?
You don't have to pretend to be interested in me, you know. I know perfectly well I'm only a menial robot.
Yeah, okay, but where are you?
Reverse primary thrust, Marvin. That's what they say to me. Open airlock number 3, Marvin. Marvin, can you pick up that piece of paper? Can I pick up that piece of paper? Here I am, brain the size of a planet.
Yeah.
I'm quite used to being humiliated. I can even go and stick my head in a bucket of water if you like.
Yeah, Marvin.
Would you like me to go and stick my head in a bucket of water? I've got one ready. Wait a minute.
What's he saying, Zaphod?
Oh, nothing. He just phoned up to wash his head at us.
Has that satisfied you?
Will you please tell us where you are?
I'm in the car park.
In the car park? What are you doing there?
Parking cars. What else does one do?
Yeah, okay, now stay there. Come on, guys, let's go. Marvin's down in the car park.
Car park? What's he doing in a car park?
Parking cars! What else, dum-dum? 4 trillion, let's move!
Okay.
Particle of creation. Now, a very interesting effect to watch for is in the upper left-hand quadrant of the sky, where you will clearly see the star system of Hastromil boiling away into the ultraviolet. Anyone here from Hastromil? Well, it's too late to worry about whether you've left the gas on now.
There he is! Marvin!
Marvin! Hey, kid, are we pleased to see you?
No, you're not. No one ever is.
No, really, Marvin, we are.
Quite.
Yeah.
Hanging around waiting for us all this time.
The first 10 million years were the worst. And the second 10 million, they were the worst too. The third 10 million I didn't enjoy at all. After that, I went into a bit of a decline.
Well, poor old Marvin.
It's the people you meet that really get you down in this job. They're so boring. The best conversation I had was over 34 million years ago.
Oh, dear.
And that was with a coffee machine.
Hey, Zaphod, come and have a look at some of these little star trolleys. Look at this baby, Zaphod, the tangerine star buggy with the black sunbusters.
Hey, get this number. Multi-cluster quark drive and Perspial X running boards. This has got to be a Laszlo Lyrican custom job, yeah? Look, the infrapink lizard emblem on the neutrino counter.
Yeah, I was passed by one of these mothers once out near the Axel Nebula. I was going flat out, and this thing just strolled past me. Star drive hardly ticking over. Just incredible.
Too much.
Yeah, 10 seconds later, it smashed straight into the third moon of Jacqueline Beta.
Hey, right?
Yeah, but a great-looking ship, though. Looks like a fish, moves like a fish, steers like a cow.
No kidding.
Wait a minute, that one there.
Hey! Now that is really bad for the eyes.
It's so black, you can hardly even make out its shape. Light just falls into it.
And feel the surface.
Yeah. Hey, you can't.
See? It's just totally frictionless. Oh, this must be one mother of a mover. I bet the cigar lighter's even on photon drive. Well, what do you reckon, Ford?
What? You mean stroll off with it? Do you think we should?
No.
Nor do I.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We better shift soon. In a few seconds, the universe will end and all the captain creeps will be pouring down here to find their Borg-mobiles.
Zaphod,
Yeah?
how do we get into it?
Just don't spoil a beautiful idea, will you, Ford?
Perhaps the robot can figure something out.
Yeah. Hey, Marvin! Come over, we've got a job for you.
I won't enjoy it.
Yes, you will. There's a whole new life stretching out ahead of you.
Oh, not another.
Will you shut up and listen? This time there's going to be excitement and adventure and really wild things.
Sounds awful.
Marvin, all I'm trying to say...
I suppose you want me to open this spaceship for you.
Marvin, just listen, will you? What?
I suppose you want me to open this spaceship for you.
Hey, yes.
Well, I wish you'd just tell me rather than trying to engage my enthusiasm because I haven't got one. Abracadabra servo systems.
How'd you do that, Marvin?
Didn't I tell you I've got a brain the size of a planet? No one ever listens to me, of course.
Oh, shut up, Marvin.
See what I mean?
Hey, Zaphod, look at this. Look at the interior of this ship.
Hey. Weird.
It's black. Everything in it is just totally black.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. The skies begin to boil. Nature collapses into the screaming void. In 15 seconds' time, the universe itself will be at an end. See where the light of infinity bursts in upon us! I don't believe it. A big hand, please, for the great prophet Zarquan.
Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm a bit late. I had a terrible time. All sorts of things cropping up at the last moment. How are we for time?
And so the universe ended. One of the major selling points of that wholly remarkable book, The Hitch-Hiker's Guide to the Galaxy, apart from its relative cheapness and the fact that it has the words "Don't Panic" written in large, friendly letters on the cover, is its compendious and occasionally accurate glossary. For instance, the statistics relating to the geosocial nature of the universe are all deftly set out between pages 576,324 and 576,326. The simplistic style is partly explained by the fact that its editors, having to meet a publishing deadline, copied the information off the back of a packet of breakfast cereal, hastily embroidering it with a few footnotes in order to avoid prosecution under the incomprehensibly tortuous galactic copyright laws. It is interesting to note that a later and wilier editor sent the book backwards in time through a temporal warp and then successfully sued the breakfast cereal company for infringement of the same laws. Here is a sample in both headings and footnotes. The universe. Some information to help you live in it. 1. Population? None. It is known that there are an infinite number of worlds, but that not every one is inhabited. Therefore, there must be a finite number of inhabited worlds. Any finite number divided by infinity is as near to nothing as makes no odds. So if every planet in the universe has a population of 0, then the entire population of the universe must also be 0, and any people you may actually meet from time to time are merely the products of a deranged imagination. 2. Monetary units? None. In fact, there are 3 freely convertible currencies in the universe, but the Altarian dollar has recently collapsed, the Flanian pobble bead is only exchangeable for other Flanian pobble beads, and the Triganic pew doesn't really count as money. Its exchange rate of 8 ningies to 1 pew is simple, but since a ningi is a triangular rubber coin 6,800 miles along each side, no one has ever collected enough to own 1 pew. Ningies are not negotiable currency because the galactic banks refuse to deal in fiddling small change. From this basic premise, it is very simple to prove that the galactic banks are also the products of a deranged imagination. 3. Sex? None. Well, actually, there is an awful lot of this, largely because of the total lack of money, trade, banks, or anything else that might keep all the non-existent people in the universe occupied. However, it is not worth embarking on a long discussion of it now, because it really is terribly complicated. For further information, see chapters 7, 9, 10, 11, 14, 16, 17, 19, 21 to 84 inclusive, and, in fact, most of the rest of this deeply invaluable book. The history of every major galactic civilization has 3 distinct and recognizable phases, those of survival, inquiry, and sophistication, otherwise known as the how, why, and where phases. For instance, the first phase is characterized by the question, how can we eat? And the second by the question, why do we eat? And the third by the question, where shall we have lunch? Though it will usually take a large civilization many thousands of years to pass through the how, why, and where phases, smaller social groupings under stressful conditions can pass through these phases with extreme rapidity. Thus,
How are we doing?
Badly.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Why not?
Shut up.
Oh, basically, what you're trying to say is that we're out of control.
It's the wild color scheme that freaks me. Every time you try to operate one of these weird black controls, which are labeled in black on a black background, a small black light lights up black to let you know you've done it. What is this, some kind of galactic hyperhearse?
Perhaps it was designed by somebody with eyes that respond to different wavelengths.
Or didn't have much imagination.
Perhaps he was feeling very depressed.
It's making me feel space sick.
Time sick. We're plummeting backwards through time.
Oh, God. No, I think I really am going to be ill.
Go ahead, we could do with a little color about the place.
Oh, this is civilized after-dinner conversation.
Hey, look, Earthman, you've got a job to do, right? The question to the ultimate answer, right? There's a lot of loot tied up in that head thing of yours. Just think of the merchandising. Ultimate question T-shirts, ultimate question biscuits.
Well, yes, but where do we start? I don't know. The ultimate answer, so-called, is 42. Well, what's the question? How am I supposed to know? Could be anything. I mean, what's 6 times 7?
42.
Yes, I know that. I'm just saying the question could be anything. How should I know?
Because you're the last one. You were there when your planet did the big firework.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that. I just don't know.
I know.
Shut up, Marvin. This is organism talk.
It's printed in the Earthman's brainwave patterns, but I don't suppose you'll be very interested in hearing that.
You mean you can see into my mind?
Yes.
And?
It amazes me how you manage to live in anything that small.
Ah, abuse.
Yes.
Oh, ignore him. He's only making it up.
Making it up. Why should I want to make anything up? Life's bad enough as it is without wanting to invent any more of it.
Marvin, if you knew what it was all along, why didn't you tell us?
You didn't ask.
Well, we're asking you now, Metal Man. What's the question?
The ultimate question.
Yes.
The ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything.
Yes.
To which the answer is 42.
Yes, come on.
I can tell that you're not really interested.
Will you just tell us, you motorized maniac?
Listen, that sounds better. Have you managed to sort out the controls?
No, I just stopped fiddling with them.
I could tell you weren't really interested.
I think this ship has a far better idea of where it's going than we do.
I wonder who it belongs to.
Me.
No, who it really belongs to.
Really me. Property is theft, right? Therefore, theft is property. Therefore, this ship is mine, okay?
Tell the ship that.
Ship, this is your new owner speaking to you.
Okay, Channel 9 on power, testing Channel 15. Channel 15, A-OK, the black ship is now in position. Put it under control of central stage coordination. Yeah, ship locked into stage computer, A-OK. Right on trajectory for sundive. Testing Channel 20.
Turn it off! You know what I'm thinking?
I think so.
Tell me what you think I'm thinking.
I think you're thinking it's time we got off this ship.
I think you're right.
I think you're right.
Why?
What's happening?
Quiet.
We're thinking.
Find another radio channel.
For the concert this afternoon. I'm standing on the stage here in the middle of the Kakrafoon Desert, and with the aid of hyperbinoptic glasses, I can just make out the huge audience cowering there on the horizon all around us. Behind me, the speaker stacks rise like a sheer cliff face, and high above me, the sun is shining away and doesn't know what's going to hit it. The environmentalist lobby do know what's going to hit it, and claim that the concert will cause earthquakes, tidal waves, hurricanes, irreparable damage to the atmosphere, and all the other things that environmentalists usually go on about. But I've just had a report that the representative of disaster area met with the environmentalists this morning and had them all shot. So nothing now stands in the way of the concert going.
We're going into the sun.
I don't understand.
This ship is just a huge stage prop. We're going to dive into the sun.
And that's bad, is it?
Yes!
Perhaps you can do something with your towel.
No!
So this is it. We're going to die.
Will you stop saying that?
One of the things Ford Prefect had always found hardest to understand about human beings was their habit of continually stating and restating the very, very obvious. As in, it's a nice day, or you're very tall, or so this is it, we're going to die. At first, Ford had formed a theory to account for this strange behavior. If human beings don't keep exercising their lips, he thought, their mouths probably seize up. After a while, he abandoned this theory in favor of a new one. If they don't keep exercising their lips, he thought, their brains start working. In fact, this second theory is more literally true of the Belcerabon people of Kakrafun Kappa. The Belcerabons used to cause great resentment and insecurity amongst neighboring races by being one of the most enlightened, accomplished, serene, and above all, quiet civilizations in the galaxy. As a punishment for this behavior, which was held to be offensively self-righteous and provocative, a galactic tribunal inflicted on them that most cruel of all social diseases, telepathy. Now, in order to prevent themselves broadcasting every slightest thought that crosses their minds to anyone within a 5-mile radius, they have to talk loudly and continuously about the weather, the trouble with sand, and also about what an appallingly noisy place Kakrafun has suddenly become. Another method of temporarily blotting out their minds is to play host to a disaster area concert.
This is it. We're starting to dive, right on course for the sun.
Ford, how many escape capsules are there?
None.
You counted them?
Twice. You get the stage crew on the radio?
Yeah, I said there was a whole bunch of people on board. They said there was a whole bunch of nothing they could do.
You said who you were?
Yeah, they said it was a great honor.
What does teleport mean?
What did you say?
Sorry, probably the wrong moment to read it.
Where does it say teleport?
Well, there, just under the word emergency and above the word system, next to the sign saying out of order.
Hell's donkeys!
Well, it seems okay. It's just the guidance system that's cocked up.
Who cares where we go? Let's just get out.
Oh, no, the auto system's gone too. Someone would have to stay and operate it.
Hey, Marvin. Kid, how you doing?
Very badly, I suspect.
Would you like to...
Lay down my life selflessly for you. Make the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
Consign my brain, which is the size of a planet, to death in the heart of a blazing sun so that you can all escape and save your tiny...
Yeah, there's nothing to go on about it, okay?
All right, you better all get into the teleport.
Come on, guys, here we go. Okay, Marvin. Thanks, metal pal.
Thank you, Marvin.
See you. Or something.
Excitement, adventure, and really wild things. I suppose some people might have expected better treatment after having waited for 576,000 million years, but not me. No. I may just be a menial robot, but I'm far too intelligent to expect anyone to think of me for a moment. Far too intelligent.
Ford? Yeah? Arthur?
Yes?
Zaphod?
Trillian? Where are they?
Dunno. No reason we'd all end up in the same place. They could be anywhere. So could we, for that matter.
Looks like we're inside another spaceship.
Yeah.
Do you think they might be dead?
I don't know. I don't want to think about it right now.
Difficult not to. I mean, this place looks like a mausoleum, doesn't it?
You're right. The place is full of sarcophagi as far as the eye can see. Wow.
What's so great about dead people?
I don't know. Let's have a look. Here! There's a plaque on this one.
What does it say?
Golgafrinchan Arc Fleet, Ship B, Hold 7, Telephone Sanitizer, 2nd Class. And a serial number.
Telephone sanitizer? A dead telephone sanitizer?
Best kind.
But what's he doing here?
Not a lot.
No, but I mean, why? Good God. This one's a dead hairdresser.
And this one here's an advertising account executive.
And here's a second-hand car salesman, 3rd class. Are these really coffins? They're terribly cold.
All right, hold it right there. Put your hands up and turn around slowly.
Hello?
Why isn't anyone ever pleased to see us?
Captain?
Yes, number one.
I've just had a sort of report thing from number 2.
Oh, dear.
He was shouting something or other about having found some prisoners.
Oh, well, perhaps that'll keep him happy for a bit. He's always wanted some.
Captain, sir!
Ah, hello, number 2. Having a nice day?
I brought you the prisoners I located in Freezer Bay 7, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Excuse me not getting up. I'm just having a quick bath. Well, gin and tonics all round then. Look in the fridge, number 1.
Certainly, sir.
Don't you want to interrogate the prisoners, sir?
Now, why on earth would I want to do that?
To get information out of them, sir. Find out why they came here, sir.
No. I expect they just dropped in for a quick gin and tonic, don't you?
But, sir, they're my prisoners. Can't I just interrogate them a little bit?
No, all right, if you must. Ask them what they want to drink.
Oh, thank you, sir. All right, you scum! You vermin!
No, steady on, number 2.
What do you want to drink?
Well, the gin and tonic sounds very nice to me. Arthur?
What? Oh, yes.
With ice or without?
Oh, with, please.
Lemon?
Oh, yes, please. And do you have any of those little biscuits? You know, the cheesy ones?
I'm asking the question.
Number 2.
Sir!
Push off, will you? There's a good chap. I'm trying to have a relaxing bath.
Sir! May I remind you that you have now been in that bath for over 3 years?
Yes, well, you need to relax a lot in a job like mine.
What on earth's going on?
Could I ask you actually what your job is, in fact?
Your drinks.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
I mean, I couldn't help noticing, you know, the bodies.
Well, bodies?
All those dead telephone sanitizers and account executives, you know, in the hole.
Oh, they're not dead, good Lord. No. They're just frozen. They're going to be revived.
You really mean you've got a hold full of frozen hairdressers?
Yes, millions of them. Hairdressers, tired TV producers, insurance salesmen, personnel officers.
Security guards, public relations executives.
Management consultants, pipe bands, you name it, we've got it. We're going to colonize another planet.
What?
Exciting, isn't it?
What, with that lot?
Well, now, don't misunderstand me. We're just one of the ships in the Ark fleet. We're the B Ark, you see. Sorry, could I just ask you, do run a bit more hot water for me? Thanks. Now, do help yourself to more drinks, of course.
Thanks.
What's a bee arc?
Yeah? Oh, well, what happened, you see, was our planet was doomed.
Doomed?
Oh, yes. So what everyone thought was, let's pack the whole population into some giant spaceships and go and settle on another planet.
You mean a less doomed one?
Precisely. So it was decided to build 3 ships, 3 arcs in space. I'm not boring you, am I?
No, it's fascinating.
Oh, it's delightful to have someone else to talk to for a change. Trouble with a long journey like this is that you end up just talking to yourself a lot, which gets terribly boring because half the time you know what you're going to say next.
Only half the time?
Yes, about half, I'd say. Anyway, where's the soap? Ah, yes. So the idea was that into the first ship, the A ship, would go all the brilliant leaders, the scientists, the great artists, you know, all the achievers. And then into the third, or C ship, would go all the people who did the actual work, who made things and did things. And then into the B ship, that's us, yes, would go everyone else, the middlemen, you see. And we were sent off first.
But what was wrong with your planet?
Oh, it was doomed, as I said. Apparently it was going to crash into the sun. Or was it that the moon was going to crash into us?
Oh, I thought it was that the planet was going to be invaded by a gigantic swarm of 12-foot piranha bees.
That's not what I was told. My commanding officer swore blind that the entire planet was in imminent danger of being eaten by an enormous mutant star goat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said he only wished he was going off in the first ship too.
But they made sure that they sent all you lot off first anyway.
Yes, well, everyone said very nicely, I thought, that it was very important for morale to feel that they would be arriving on a planet where they could be sure of a good haircut and where the phones were clean.
Oh, yes, well, I can see that would be very important.
Can you?
And the other ships followed on after you, did they?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because curiously enough, we haven't actually heard a peep out of them since we left 5 years ago. But they must be behind us somewhere.
Unless, of course, they were eaten by the goat.
Oh, yes, the goat. Well, it's a funny thing, you know, now that I actually come to tell the story to someone else. I mean, Does it strike you as odd, number one?
Well, I can see that you've got a lot of things you're going to want to talk about, so thanks for the drinks, and if you could sort of drop us off at the nearest convenient planet.
Well, that's a little difficult, you see, because our trajectory thingy was preset before we left Golgafrinchan. I think partly because I'm not actually very good with figures.
You mean we're stuck here on this ship? Oh, bloody hell. Well, when are you going to reach the planet you're meant to be colonizing?
Oh, we're nearly there, I think, any second now. Probably time I got out of the bath, in fact. I don't know, though. Why stop just when I'm enjoying it?
So we're actually going to land in a minute?
Well, not so much land, in fact. I think, as far as I can remember, we were programmed to crash on it.
Crash?
Yes, it's all part of the plan, I think. There was a terribly good reason for it, which I can't quite remember at the moment.
You're a load of useless bloody loonies.
Yes, that was it.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has this to say about the planet of Golgafrinchan. It is a planet with an ancient and mysterious history, in which the most mysterious figures of all are without doubt those of the great circling poets of Arion. These circling poets used to live in remote mountain passes where they would lie in wait for small bands of unwary travellers, circle round them and throw rocks at them. And when the travellers cried out, saying, why didn't they go away and get on with writing some poems instead of pestering people with all this rock-throwing business, they would suddenly break off and sing them a beautiful and incredibly lengthy song in which they told of how there once went forth from the city of Vasilion a party of 5 sage princes with 4 horses. The first part of the song tells how these 5 sage princes, who are of course brave, noble and wise, travel widely in distant lands, fight giant ogres, pursue exotic philosophies, take tea with weird gods, and rescue beautiful monsters from ravening princesses, before finally announcing that they have achieved enlightenment and that their wanderings are therefore accomplished. The second and much longer part tells of all their bickerings about which one of them is going to have to walk back. It was a descendant of these eccentric poets who invented these spurious tales of impending doom, which enabled the people of Golgafrinchan to rid themselves of an entire useless third of their population. The other 2/3, of course, stayed at home and lived full, rich and happy lives until they were all suddenly wiped out by a virulent disease contracted from a dirty telephone. Meanwhile, Arthur Dent, Ford Prefect, and an ark-load of frozen middle management men have crashed into the prehistoric dawn of a small blue-green planet circling an unregarded yellow sun at the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy. After a year or so, they convene a meeting to consider their position, which is not, on the whole, good.
I would like to call to order the 573rd meeting of the Colonization Committee of the planet of Fintel-Woodlewicks.
Do you have a quick drink?
Not while I'm in the bath.
As a fully trained management consultant, I must insist on the importance of observing the committee's
This is futile. Look, do we really need the pipe?
Oh, I think so. We've given him a grant, you know.
572 committee meetings and you haven't even discovered fire yet?
If you care to look at the agenda sheet, you'll see that we're about to have a report from the Hairdressers' Fire Development Subcommittee today.
Yes, well, you know what they've done, don't you? You gave them a couple of sticks and they've developed them into a pair of scissors.
When you've been in marketing as long as I have, you'll know that before any new product can be developed, it has to be properly researched. We've got to find out what people want from fire, how they relate to it, the image...
Oh, stick it up your nose.
Which is precisely the sort of thing we need to know. Do people want fire that can be fitted nasally?
And the wheel. What about this wheel thing? It sounds a terribly interesting project.
Well, we're having a little difficulty there.
Difficulty? It's the single simplest machine in the entire universe.
All right, Mr. Wise Guy, if you're so clever, you tell us what color it should be.
Oh, almighty Zarquan. Has no one done anything? Well,
I've declared war on the next continent.
Declared war? There's no one even living there.
Oh, yes, but there will be one day. So we've left a sort of open-ended ultimatum.
What?
And blown up a few military installations.
Military installations, number 2?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, potential military installations.
Eh?
Oh, all right. Trees. And we interrogated a gazelle.
And, of course, Finlon, the producer, has rescued a camera from the wreckage of the ship and is making a fascinating documentary on the indigenous cavemen of the area.
Yes, and they're dying out. Have you noticed that?
Yes, we must make a note, sir, to stop selling them life insurance.
But don't you understand? Just since we've arrived, they've started dying out.
Yes, and this comes over terribly well in the film he's making. I gather he wants to make a documentary about you next, Captain.
Oh, really? Well, that's awfully nice.
He's got a very strong angle on it, you know. The burden of responsibility, the loneliness of command.
Well, I wouldn't overstress that angle, you know. One's never alone with a rubber duck.
Yeah. If we could for a moment move on to the subject of fiscal policy.
Fiscal policy? How can you have money if none of you actually produce anything? It doesn't grow on trees, you know.
If you would allow me to continue, thank you. Since we decided to adopt leaves as legal tender, we have, of course, all become immensely rich. But we have also run into a small inflation problem on account of the high level of leaf availability, which means that I gather the current going rate has something like 3 major deciduous forests buying 1 ship's peanut. So, in order to obviate this problem and effectively revalue the leaf, we're about to embark on an extensive defoliation campaign and burn down all the forests. I think that's a sensible move, don't you?
Absolutely. Very, very sound.
Okay. Excuse me. Has anybody got a rock? Could you pass it?
Is it perhaps in order to inquire what you've been doing all this time? You and that other interloper have been missing for months.
Yeah, well, with respect, love, we've been traveling around trying to find out something about this planet.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound very productive. I thought that...
No? Well, have I got news for you? It doesn't matter a pair of fetid dingo's kidneys what you all choose to do from now on. Burn down the forest, anything. It won't make a scrap of difference. 2 million years you've got, and that's it. At the end of that, your race will be dead, gone, and good riddance to you. Remember that. 2 million years.
Well, just time for another bath. Pass me the sponge, somebody. Here, sir.
No. Q scores 10, you see, and it's on a triple word score. No, I'm sorry, but I explained the rules. No, look, please, put down that jawbone. All right, we'll start again and try to concentrate this time.
Oh, what are you doing, Arthur?
Trying to teach the caveman to play Scrabble. It's uphill work. The only word he knows is grunt, and he can't spell it.
And would you please tell me what that is supposed to achieve?
We've got to encourage them to evolve, Ford. Can you imagine what a world is going to be like that descends from those cretins over there?
We don't have to imagine. Let's face it. We already know what it's like. We've seen it. There's no escape.
Did you tell them what we discovered?
Slarty Bartfast's signature on the glacier? No, what's the point? Why should they listen? What's it to them that this planet happens to be called the Earth?
And that it happens to be my original home.
Yes, but you won't even be born for nearly 2 million years, so they're likely to feel that it's not a lot of your business. Face up to it, Arthur. Those Zeebs over there are your ancestors, not these cavemen. Put the Scrabble away. It won't save the human race because Mr. Ugg here is not destined to be the human race. The human race is currently sitting round that rock over there making documentaries about themselves.
But there must be something we can do.
No, nothing. Really, nothing. Because it's all been done. Listen, we've been backwards and forwards through time and ended up here, 2 million years behind where we started. But that doesn't change the future because we've seen it. We know the Earth ends up being cleared away by the Vogons to make way for a new hyperspace bypass. Wise up, kid. There's nothing you can do to change it because it's already happened.
And all because we arrived here with the Golgafrinchans in their B arc.
Yes.
Oh, bloody caveman. It's all been a bit of a waste of time for you, hasn't it? You've been out-evolved by a telephone sanitizer.
He's pointing at the Scrabble board.
Oh, he's probably spelt library with 1 R again, poor bastard.
No, he hasn't.
Hey, no, look. It says 42. The experiment had something to do with a computer program to find the ultimate question.
Hey, you know what this means, don't you?
What?
It must have gone wrong. If the computer matrix was set up to follow the evolution of the human race through from the cavemen, and then we've arrived and caused them to die out...
And actually replaced them...
Then the whole thing is cocked up.
So whatever it was that Marvin spotted in my brainwave patterns is in fact the wrong question.
Yeah, it might be right, but it's probably wrong. If only we could find out what it is.
Well, how about... Look, if it's printed in my brainwave patterns, but I don't know how to reach it, suppose we introduce some random element which can be shaped by that pattern.
Like?
Pulling out letters from the Scrabble bag.
Brilliant. That's bloody brilliant.
Right. First 4 letters.
Right. W-H-A-T. What?
2 more.
D-O, do. Hey, it's working. Hey, this is terrific.
Hey.
It's really coming. You, get. What do you get?
More here.
If, you, M-U-L-T, multiply. I'm beginning to get a sinking feeling about this. If you multiply 6 by 9? By 9? Is that it?
That's it. 6 by 9, 42. Something certainly got screwed up somewhere.
Yeah.
I always said there was something fundamentally wrong with the universe. So what do we do now?
I guess we just swallow our pride and go and join the human race.
Yes. Right, mate. Ugh. It's sad, though. Just at the moment, it's a very beautiful planet.
It is. It is indeed. The rich primal greens, the river snaking off into the distance, the burning trees.
And in 2 million years, bang, it gets destroyed by the Vogons. What a life for a young planet to look forward to.
Well, better than some. I read of one planet off in the 7th dimension that got used as a ball in a game of intergalactic bar billiards. Got potted straight into a black hole, killed 10 billion people.
Total madness.
Yeah. Only scored 30 points, too.
Where did you read that?
Oh, a book.
Which book was that?
The Hitch-hikers' Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, that thing.